All right, so my name is Daniel Vera. I'm in Northern California. I'm an artist, a visual artist, musician, poet, writer, comic book creator, movie, a wannabe movie maker, and a talker. So, what I wanted to do was talk about some art fundamentals on this new YouTube channel that I'm gonna make, starting with this video. There's a few concepts through different disciplinaries. I'm gonna do ones that talk about music, songwriting, and then I'm gonna talk about comic books specifically, and then I'm gonna do videos like this that are more about the overall creative concepts that creative people think about. So I'm pulling from my first list of ideas that I actually always like listening to when I hear other artists talk about them, and they're the overall concepts of creation, of the imagination and creating art, so they're kind of basics. And the really cool thing is that I'm older now, that I've accumulated a lot of information, as well as lived it, lived the creative life, but also put time and effort into the actual creation of work. And a lot of the main ideas are in storytelling, right? So, and I want to give myself a little I can't think of the word, but a place where I'm not liable for what everybody thinks in the world. Basically, this is my point of view as an artist, which is all of us are fallible, and all of us have our own way of creating. So I'm not a structure like the other YouTube folks that will structure their blogs and video blogs. Maybe later I'll do that, but I'm just going off the top to give out some information that might be interesting to young creators that like to do art that I have created, like paintings and drawings and comic books and music. So basically, the way I see it and the way I've worked has been really through osmosis, just like creating to try to make something original, to try to say some truths that I might not quite understand yet, but also, points of view. So when you create characters in stories, the idea is not to have every character in the story even though that kind of is what happens for the most part, because it's filtering through your mind. So when you write dialogue for characters, most of the time it's words that you use, and that's kind of a problem, that we all run into as young artists and creators and storytellers. So a good way to work through that is obviously to listen to other people. This is pointers from other creators that I've heard and listened to that say write down a notepad. And so I'm not going to say that because I don't do that, even though I probably should. I don't, and the only reason is that I am too busy creating to sit around preparing, which sometimes is a fault. But in the long run, it actually sometimes works out too. So, but what I do do is listen to a lot of people, and I read. So when I read, what I've noticed is when I write, I use words that I don't use when I speak. But then I'm like, where did I even think of that word? Or how did I even use that word I never used before? And it's because I've read it before. And somehow when I'm writing, it actually is the word that I needed. And as a young writer, I remember one of my teachers in art school was like, I had to do a write-up on a book. And I was using words that he was like, you're a good writer, but you're using all these adjectives, descriptive words that don't fit, And I was like, and I was just throwing in these words that I knew there was a word that I didn't know. I knew what I wanted to say, but I didn't know the word. But the word was close enough that I thought maybe that's what it meant. So as time went on, I actually got pretty decent at using my vocabulary level was and I don't know. I think it came through books, through reading, and listening lately to YouTube videos. So and then looking it up online to see what the word means, and so that really helped. The internet really helped as opposed to carrying around a thesaurus and dictionary, which I did as well. Do that in college. But I never used them. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so the creative mind, we work like that, and that's why I'm relaying this to you guys, because sometimes the teachers and the YouTube helpers, I love it when I watch a video blog on YouTube and these other creators are giving me really good information, and they say what the idea of the concept of how to use it, but that maybe in real life what happens when they create, and that really gives us a camaraderie and understanding that it's tough to sit down and write. It's tough to sit down and create. It takes effort to even get inspiration, and a lot of people that are not in this world might not understand that. Even people that are married to creatives or in relationships with creatives or have them for children or parents might not understand that we're sitting around thinking and creating, and distractions sometimes bother us, and that might be why we get angry or are withdrawn from groups of people or whatever, or what's happening around us. And it's not intentional. It's just that's what we do. We think about stuff and put it down on paper or whatever. So the idea is creativity, and that's the subject that I want to delve into just real quick. I'll probably make another video just specifically on this. But the idea of creativity is pulling from a source. And it's funny because I've always used the concept or the word collective consciousness, or and I've just realized as I started hearing about Carl Jung, and his writings and whatnot, I guess he uses a concept of the creative unconscious or collective unconscious. So I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to explain with that word, but it's funny because all of us create these words, humanity, civilization, we're creating words and concepts, and they change, and they're not set in stone or whatever, and we have leeway to, language adapts and evolves, and we have that leeway to create new words and to create different ways of using those words, like ebonics, or whatever, but there's a truth to that. Like in music, we don't want to just play the same songs over and over, we want to express ourselves different than the last generation, or more specifically to our reality of the times. So creativity and creatives pull from the consciousness, unconsciousness, consciousness, collective consciousness, I say, because what I mean by that is we're conscious of it. It's a thing that we're actually thinking about. It's not an unconscious. It is an unconscious thing, but as a group, sorry, this music's loud. I recorded this music, and this one song is just like louder than all the other songs. So it's just this music stuff that I play guitar to. So I'm gonna keep talking and not interrupt it too much. So hopefully it turns out all right. So the idea is creative consciousness is a group thought. It's when somebody puts out work that we all see, like the movies kind of do, we all evolve from that, like the Terminator. We don't really need to do another Terminator movie because we all have that in our brains now, and until that movie runs out, and nobody really watches it anymore, or hears about it or thinks about it, then maybe somebody will create another version of that, or pretty much redo that movie. But for us, it's a wave. It's a rock in the water that creates waves, and we all receive that wave, and we react in whatever way that movie or story or creation does to society. And so creativity is a wavelength that we all pull from, and if you're on the frequency pattern, you're able to pick it up, and we all like see who writes it down first, right? So it's a pretty trippy endeavor, and it's very taxing and takes a lot of energy, brain power. But for all you creatives out there, I welcome you to feel free to leave any comments. I'm not really that great at communicating online to people that watch these videos or whatever, but I am gonna try. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.